If you ask me the question, is there a perfect video game? The answer would be no, but I do know one game that got pretty damn close. Megaman X, releasing for the Super Nintendo in 1993, was one of the most groundbreaking titles of this generation. It's kinda hard to talk about this game without talking about Mega Man himself, and how he got to this point. Let's go flashback to Capcom in 1987. They released a game for the Nintendo Entertainment System known as Rockman. I would say this game sold well, but I'm out of money to put into my lying jar, so yeah, it flopped. With a box art like this, I wonder how that could have happened. But that didn't stop those Mega Man developers. Out of pure passion and dedication to make Mega Man, they released Mega Man 2, which would sell better, and then they'd make Mega Man 3. Shortly after Mega Man 3 came along, we got the Super Nintendo on November 21st, 1990. And instead of releasing a game to go alongside this, they decided to just, yeah, we're pretty good on the NES, which they would release Mega Man 4, Man 5, and 6. Instead of releasing Mega Man 7 for the same damn console, they decided 3 fucking years into its life to make a Mega Man for the Super Nintendo. Instead of using that classic blue bomber, they decided to go with a new Mega Man, an edgier Mega Man, a Mega Man for the new generation. 3 years late, and they decided to call that character Mega Man X. To be honest, I don't really see how the game would work if they went with another axis. Okay, hold my drink for a sec. I'm gonna try to explain Mega Man X lore. It is the 21st century. Dr. Light's working on a new robot based after Mega Man with the ability to think and feel for himself. Problem, he doesn't know right from wrong. He doesn't know gun from squirrel. So he steals X away in a capsule for 30 years until the bastard can figure out what's wrong and what's right. 100 years pass and a scientist by the name of Dr. Kane finds X, and off his blueprint and about 8 well-sorted zoo animals, he created a robot task force that would eventually turn evil and start running rampant. We call these guys Mavericks. In comes Sigma and his Robo Troop, another creation of Dr. Kane, especially designed to stop Mavericks, which he eventually finds is a different robot in a different capsule known as Zero, created by Dr. Wily to be a nemesis to X. Sigma defeats him, however, barely, accidentally getting Maverick food poisoning, turning him and his Robo Troop into evil Mavericks themselves, inadvertently somehow curing Zero of his evil ways, turning him to good. Sigma then declares war on the humans and demands Reploid independence, with his first plan to launch a bunch of missiles to the one human city, and now it's up to X and Zero to save the day and stop Sigma. Catch all that? No? Good. How much of that is explained in the game? Like none of it. Anyway, now that we're done with that stutterfest, it's time to play the game. Stage 1 takes place right as Sigma's attacking the city, as I mentioned before, and it needs absolutely no introduction. This is probably one of the most iconic starting areas out of any video game. No, most iconic areas out of any video game. This serves to teach you pretty much everything you're gonna need to know about X. These spike droppers will teach you that enemies can interact with the environment. These missile launcher guys teach you that not everything will go down in one hit, with other robots following suit. They even throw 2 whole mini bosses at you, they being these B guys. They're essentially drop ships. They'll either move towards you, firing a volley of bullets, or drop these ball walker guys. Even after the destruction, they're still teaching you new things. It drops you into this pit here, which you have to wall jump to proceed. Everything a first level needs to teach you, the player, what to do is here, and it's awesome. Anywho, after you run for enough time, you make it to this long stretch of highway where you have to fight from automobiles. So this is the Toyota-thon I've heard about. Defeating enough Toyota employees will eventually bring out X's semi-rival. Introducing Vile. He's got a big mech and bigger temper. After trying so very hard to beat him, he eventually stuns X and grabs him. Gives some speech about he'll never defeat him. I kind of skipped the dialogue. Anyways, here's Zero. Zero talks about how he's too weak or something, a little baby man. Baby man! You know, for the first level of a Super Nintendo game, it had quite a lot going on, didn't it? I mean, it pretty much just dropped you into chaos and said, good luck, buddy! You're now met with a level select in traditional Rockman fashion. 8 robot masters to defeat, except this time they're called Mavericks. Look, okay, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, just go chill, Penguin. It's for your own good. You'll understand why I say chill, Penguin in a second. First, I must go over X's moveset. We obviously have the basic left, right, up, down, jump. We also have his arm cannon. Anybody who's played a Mega Man game at least knows something about this. It's the iconic arm cannon. You could rapid fire for weaker shots, pretty good for taking down some smaller enemies. You could also do a medium shot, which will take some time to charge, but will do more damage and fly through enemies, giving it some kind of pierce. And if you charge this for as long as you can, you get that iconic blue bullet. The most damaging out of all of his shots can still pierce, and that's it. I don't know why I said and. Finally, for now, we have his wall jump, which I already briefly talked about. Hug a wall and mash the jump button for maximum effect. Yeah, it's pretty much all he has right now. unless you go to Chill Penguin. You see, there are these capsules that are hidden throughout the game that'll give X different ability power-ups, and in specifically Chill Penguin, it's pretty much handed to you. Shut up, 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 just give me the fucking boots! These are the dash boots, and these are my drag boots. Hitting A will initiate a dash. I'm going to fucking hell for wearing these things, aren't I? Hitting A will initiate a dash. Come on, do it. Swipe me down. I know you wanna. Hitting A will initiate a dash. Jumping during this will initiate a dash jump. Or hitting the wall jump button and hitting the dash button for these same will initiate a wall dash jump. Kind of a mouthful, I know, but just hang with me. Knowing when to dash jump dash wall jump during a boss is key to success. Before we keep talking about Chill Penguin, his stage introduces another gimmick for X to use around, that being the ride armor. It was the same thing Vile was using from earlier. His X Buster now with a punch, his dash is the same. The only downside is he can't wall jump. After traversing the mountainside, we finally make it to Chill. The reason 10,000 why I'd recommend going to Chill Penguin first. He's probably the best beginning boss. He has a few easy attacks as long as you react accordingly, such as creating ice statues, sliding on his stomach where he'll become invincible, creating snowstorms. Good utilization of dash jumping and wall jumping is key. I'm very upset at myself looking back on my footage here. I accidentally died to Chill Penguin. I swear to God, it was just a fluke. I'm good at this game. After enough preservation though, you will make it past him. After his death, you get a new toy to play with. To people who aren't in the loop, I'll give you a quick rundown. After defeating a Maverick, or a Robot Master, you get a weapon similarly themed to whatever that boss you just killed was. In this case, Shotgun Ice. Then whatever weapon you get, this case Shotgun Ice, can be used to defeat a different Robot Master, or Maverick. For example, Shotgun Ice is strong against Spark Mandrill, which we'll be going to next. Okay, so Sparky's stage isn't terrible, but that also doesn't mean I like it. You see, there are these dark sections where they make everything black except for all the enemies and X himself. So, so you can't see, but you have to wait for these little guys to fly by so they can light the area. The problem is, they can hurt X, and it's crazy hard to react to them. And if you're at low enough health, which I wasn't a lot of times, these things can kill you, which just leads to a death feeling unfair. They even put one of these sections after a mini-boss. So if you were at low health after that boss, tough shit, I hope you had enough lives. Besides that, his stage is pretty alright. Hey, if you ever heard the term Spark Mandrill Syndrome and didn't know what it meant, yeah, this is what it meant. So about that, remember how I mentioned some bosses have specific weaknesses? Yeah, well, some bosses kind of just fall into shambles when you use their weakness, and Sparky here is the most glaring case of this. If you're not using his weakness, his fight is actually pretty fun. Unfortunately, the cracks in the armor are too glaring for me not to abuse them. Okay, so you could make fun of him for this, but that would be ableist, because I also suffer from Spark Mandrill Syndrome. Spark grants us Electric Spark. I ought to say, incredible name, guys. I'll put this next to my other weapons, such as Cold Ice and Hot Fire. Okay, so when I first played this game, I looked up what was Spark Mandrill's weapon strong against, and its answer was Armored Armadillo. And I was like, huh, that's strange. Why is it Armored Armadillo? So after thinking about it some more, after like my third playthrough, I realized the joke is Shell Shock. That's hilarious. Armored Armadillo's stage is probably one of my favorites. Fun fact, they never cap X's movement speed because, he'll never actually reach speeds high enough for that to be abusable. So if you dash jump off one of these minecarts to just go flying, that'll become important later. But for now, back to the stage. I really enjoy this one. This is one chase sequence here, and obviously I just zoomed past it in like 15 seconds, so that's because I've been playing this game for a long time. But on a first playthrough, it can be really stressful trying to get past all the little jimmies. What were they called? Megaman Helmet Enemy.
Here are some pictures that match.
Its name is Met? Alright. But on first playthrough, it can be really hard trying to get past all the little jimmies if they keep ducking down. It's like, oh, here comes the crusher. Especially if you didn't grab the dash boots. Anyways, after one final minecart sequence, you jump from one mountain to another. It end up at the esteemed Armadillo. If you use his weakness, E-Shock, it honestly isn't as fun. doing it the good old-fashioned way, pulling up your shorts, you know, puffing out your chest. It's a lot of fun. You see, if you use the green or blue energy shots, he'll absorb it, then fire the energy back at you. So you can either spam him with lemons, or use a halfway charged shot, and then charge up a full one, so when he's doing the energy release, you can just hit him again. It's a grueling fight, but not in a bad way. It's just tough as nails with him jumping and rolling all over the arena. Fun fact, if you stay on the door all the way to the left, he can never hit you. With his weakness, it's okay. Without it, it's a blast. Anyways, you're not supposed to question why Rolling Shield is good against Launched Octopus. Look, okay, just don't question the weaknesses. Launch Octopus's stage is next, and well, it's a water level. In most games, this is a huge red flag, but specifically in Megaman X, it's incredibly obvious X doesn't need oxygen because, you know, he doesn't have a respirator. Wait, I wrote recipe door system? Developers even like us enough to not make us move slower underwater. He actually jumps higher underwater, so dash jumping makes you ascend to a different plane of existence. As much as I love this stage, it kind of annoys me. I have yet to mention them, but there are these heart pieces that are typically hidden or require one of X's unique abilities to grab them. Like back in Sparks, you had to dash wall jump to grab it, or in Armadillos, it requires a fast enough mash to destroy the digging machine before it destroys the access way of getting up there. But in Launch Octopuses, you have to ride up this water stream going upward, then you have to blast this green orb on the submarine as it keeps attacking you, which becomes very annoying, trust me. Then it sends it downwards into this cavern where you have to fight a mini-boss, and after you're done, it'll give you a heart. Okay, but if you go to fight this guy, that would make this level have 4 mini-bosses. Anyways, after suffering through that, here's Launch Octopus. Probably one of the harder bosses in the game, with or without his weakness. Launch is just an absolute bullet hell. Launch Octopus is also why I would suggest starting with Chill Penguin, because he has this one tornado attack he'll occasionally do. You can dodge it without using the dash boots, but it's incredibly hard to do so. Launch Octopus is definitely one of my favorite bosses. Definitely warranting being put on that box art. Anyways, after Launch's defeat, you'll gain Homing Torpedo, which is strong against Boomer Coat Hanger, so that's what we'll be shoving off to next. Okay, so I just want to point out something real quick. His name is Boomer Kuwanger, right? And all of these animals are, named after animals, such as Launch Octopus, or the Armored Armadillo, and Storm Eagle. What's a Kuwanger? I actually looked it up, and every result for Kuwanger just brought up Megaman X lore. I did some research. Kuwanger is another word for beetle. Honey, you could have just called it Boomerang Beetle. Guys, the writing was on the walls. Come on. I don't really care though. Boomer Kuwanger is a cool name anyways. Kuwanger's levels are either a love it or hate it kind of thing. It's more vertically oriented. It's more vertically oriented. It's a vertical level, which can be pretty hard since X can only attack forward with his regular shot, which they do account for this, but if you go to someone like Chill Penguin first, you can have a shot that goes behind people and goes up. Please, just go to Chill Penguin first. Anyways, after exploring Kuwanger's shaft. Hey, editing me here. I kind of forgot I said that in recording. And I forgot it's so hard, I just spat coffee all over my keyboard. I would show you, but I already cleaned it up. So fuck previous me. You finally make it to the funny fella himself. He kind of just teleports randomly around the arena throwing projectiles. It isn't that enjoyable, I'm sorry. Really cool character design though, but I can't also say that about every other character. Hey, I just want to preface something real quick. If I ever say I didn't enjoy this thing or I don't think this thing is as good, I'm comparing it to other things within the game. I still do think Boomer Kuwanger is a very fun boss and a very fun stage, but compared to every other boss and stage in the game, not as fun. After defeating the Mad Boomerang, he gives us the Boomerang Cutter, and Sting Chameleon is weak to boomerangs, of course he is. Alright, let's go catch us a chameleon. This is beautiful. The sprite art in Chameleon stage is just crazy good. That goes for pretty much all their other levels as well. Megaman X visually has held up stupendously. Some of the best pixel art of any Super Nintendo game. Okay, I have absolutely no idea what I was on when I wrote this part of the script. I wrote, I want to stop playing cringe and play double with me and really enjoy Sting. What? I really enjoy Sting Chameleon's forest aesthetic. It's very pleasant, to be honest. This stage holds another armor piece, locked behind this one mini-boss. It's a pretty nice mini-boss, to be honest. Nothing too special for me to note upon, except for this grab animation. I think that'd look cool in a fighting game. Anyways, yes, after you defeat the Round and Proud here, you get the body armor. Not as cool as the legs, however, basically just halves all body damage. Still cool, not as cool. In the same area down this cliff here, if you fall into this pit with absolutely nothing visually significant about it, and jump to what seems to be your death, you'll find where the heart piece is hidden. This is lazy. Like, this is actually stupid. How the hell am I supposed to find this without a guide? Everything I've learned up to this point tells me not to go down this pit. Alright, I'm done bitching. Let's fight Sting Chameleon. Actually, no, let's keep bitching. Sting Chameleon. Without his weakness, it's a slog. With his weakness, he cripples the Spark Mandrill syndrome. Okay, I have complained at my fair point about a lot of these bosses. Like, I said I didn't like Kuwanger that much, but that's just comparison to every other boss in this game. Kuwanger in a vacuum is a really well-designed boss, but Sting Chameleon? No. His stage is really good, but the boss kind of dampers the experience for me. Sting Chameleon gives us Green Thing. The Green Thing is strong against Bird. Now we go Bird. We have finally reached my favorite boss and stage and music in the entire game. The one and only Storm Eagle. The aesthetic that his stage provides is just pure America! Basically, you travel through a military airport, climbing up this tower to where you eventually board his ship. The secrets here are also hidden very well. You see, the beginning area, you can hop onto top of these moving platforms, and once you've reached the top, if you do a dash jump, all the way to the left, you'll find a heart piece. I actually found this one completely naturally because I saw this tower I spawned under and went, there's something up there. You see, there's another collectible here I have yet to mention, that being the replacement for the E-Tank. Introducing the Health Tank. You see, when X has his health bar full and he kills an enemy and picks up their, health drop, it'll actually add to this little meter here on the Health Tank. Which is good because now it can be recharged on the fly. But the caveat being, if that bar isn't all the way full, then you're not getting full health from it. You can refill them now, which means you don't have to go back and try to either buy or search for a new E-Tank if you lose yours. But that means you also have to fill it. You can't just use it at a moment's notice. You have to make sure it's all the way filled up. And if its bar isn't all the way, you're not getting full health. For one, it balances the E-Tank. For two, it balances the E-Tank. Depending on who you ask, it's either a change for better or for worse. In my opinion, I really enjoy this system. It's a good way of balancing the E-Tank. Back to Storm Eagle, we have the last collectible to pick up before we leave. That being the helmet piece. Definitely the most whatever armor piece. It lets you break through certain blocks. Yeah, cool, I guess. Yeah, so the game and every other Megaman X game on the Super Nintendo kind of just struggled to find out what the hell to do with the helmet piece. Every other piece of armor would get interesting upgrades, like in X3, it let you dash up. But specifically his helmet piece, it kind of just got stuck in limbo. Anyways, let's go to the winged, intimidating, perfect hunk Storm Eagle. He really does feel like the final boss of the Ice Mavericks. I mean, his stage is the most interesting, he has the most badass design, not to mention the music absolutely slaps. Okay, so I was trying not to talk about the music until the end, but I can't wait any longer. The soundtrack of Megaman X is one of my favorite gaming soundtracks of all time. Hands down, no competition, swear to God, all my life, holds no bars without contest. We have the pre-before mentioned Storm Eagle. Launch Octopus. Obviously Armored Armadillo. And one of my favorites, Boomer Kuwanger. Amongst other great pieces. Reasons number 2015 why you should go with Trail Penguin. It makes Storm Eagle's fight better. Being able to dash underneath his dives and easily dodge his wind gusts, godsend. Using Sting Chameleons, he's kind of a pushover though. Still fun boss, with incredible spectacle. Anyway, so now that Jim Bro Bird has been defeated, let's make our final stop on the mass murdering spree at Flame Mammoth. Yeah, his stage is kind of a breeze if you go to chill first. This is a great time to mention a unique feature of Mega Man X. Not only are certain bosses weak to other bosses' weapons, but different stages get affected by which boss you defeated too. For example, if you go back to Spark Mandrill after defeating Storm Eagle, which Spark Mandrill's was overflowing with electricity, now the power is barely managing to stay on. Or if you go to Chill Penguin first, all the lava and flame mammoths will now be hardened and let you walk on it. Also at the same time letting you get this collectible here. Cool. I honestly just love this. I don't think any other platformer has really done something quite like this. I didn't mention this earlier because we hadn't gotten to him yet, but flame mammoths seem also really good. I'd recommend you go check out this entire OST, honestly. If I played all the songs I loved, we'd be here for an hour. Flame Mammoth stage is also where you find the final power-up, the arm piece. You see, if you do this comically impossible dash jump onto these blocks and then mash the button, miss, game end yourself, try it again, use the helmet piece to break these blocks, finally get the arm part. Let him charge to a fourth, more powerful phase of the X-Buster. That being these two spiraling pink shots, it does indeed do more damage, at the caveat of taking more time to charge. This weapon can be pretty useful for taking out bosses you don't know the weakness to. Alright, enough chit chat. After making it through some, well, what would be tough platforming if the level wasn't frozen, you get to the big man. Cool Easter egg that doesn't really affect the fight. If you use Boomerang Kuwanger's boomerang cutter, it will actually cut off the trunk. Completely unnecessary? Yes. Cool? Yes. For some reason, Flame Mammoth is weak to Storm Tornado. Like, wouldn't that fan the flame? I don't know. Mega Man weaknesses never made sense. In my opinion, they should just drop it entirely at this point. It's limiting their creative potential. Like, without premature knowledge, could you answer the question, what is Sting Chameleon's weapon strong against? And if you answer Storm Eagle, why? Anyways, Mammoth's fight is a bit unique. He'll actually jump and stun you for a bit while also occasionally roaring and changing the direction of the floor. He's a pretty cool boss, if not an easy one if you know the timing of the jumps. That's pretty much it for the main 8 bosses. Out of all of them, I think there's only 2 I didn't like. And even then, they're still kind of enjoyable. Something I love about Mega Man X is, unlike every other Mega Man game, is pretty much every weapon in X's disposal is useful. Shotgun Ice, which once hitting a wall will explode into 5 projectiles, good for hitting enemies that have shields, or ones that are just above you in small arenas. Boomerang Cutter is also good for hitting enemies above you, but it can also grab items, so if you're hitting an enemy that's over a pit, you won't lose its item that it dropped. Rolling Shield is a very powerful rolling projectile. That's pretty much it. Electric Spark is good at getting enemies on walls. Chameleon Sting, which shoots in 3 different directions, is also good for getting enemies that are both above and below you. Fire Wave, which is just one constant hitbox in front of you. Who wouldn't want to use this? Homing Torpedo, which... shit, what does Homing Torpedo do again? I forgot. The only weapon I don't really like is Storm Tornado. It kind of just serves the same purpose as Fire Wave, but you can only shoot one at a time. And it's slower. But honestly, these are all greatly designed. Not a single one outshines the rest. Except for Flame Wave, I just said that. They even become better once you get the arm piece. Something I didn't mention earlier is not only does the arm piece let you change your X-Buster to a 4th stage, but also lets you charge all the other weapons. Like charging up Sting Chameleon will let you become invincible for like 7 seconds. Or charging E-Spark will get 2 electric waves on each side of you. But I wouldn't be going off running to Sigma just quite yet. It's time for... the cleanup. It's kind of an unavoidable evil for Mega Man X. Even if you try to go for the most optimized route of not backtracking, you still have to backtrack. You need something from Flame Mammoth to go to Chill Penguin, you need something from Chill Penguin to go to Flame Mammoth. Unfortunately, there is no escaping this. It isn't that bad, though. If you know what you're doing, it'll only take like 10, maybe 15 minutes. Anyways, after unnecessarily skipping through all of that, we now have one final thing to go collect. You see, if you do a dash jump off this final minecart in Armored Armadillos, you'll come up to this cliff and it'll have a little health tank for you. But then if you immediately jump off and do that 5 more times, you'll find one final light capsule. Opening the final capsule will have Dr. Light in a Ryu outfit. And he'll give you the Hadoken. Doing the classic quarter circle forward will let X be formed the Hadoken, which does exactly 32 damage, which is the exact amount every boss has on his health bar. This is purely awesome. There was really no reason to do this, but fuck it, Easter eggs are cool. Alright, time to go bust up Sigma. Zero says he'll go do something, we'll head on into his base. Doesn't seem exactly fair to be honest, but alright. This might be the one stage in the entire game I flat out hate. It starts with a very annoying platforming segment. No matter what you do, it just seems like you can't dash on them for some reason. and there's these stupid ass flying bugs that keep coming to attack you. Luckily, you can use homing torpedo to get rid of them. I'm sure this won't have any repercussions in the future. So you know what? Fuck this platform part. If you do a well-timed dash jump, you can actually scale up the wall to the right. X developers, I love you for adding this, but I hate you for making that platforming segment in the first place. You find Vile again, but before you can fight him without his ride armor, and X could have easily taken him. Zero interrupts you, and they both rush ahead to the next room after Zero says,
"Stay back, X. I'll take him down." He immediately fucking died.
After a rigorous and hard-fought battle, X gets defeated again, and Zero sacrifices himself, blowing up his ride armor.
Gary! There's a bomb strapped to my chest! It's gonna explode!
Now you and Vile get a proper 1v1, mano-a-mano, toe-to-toe. Alright, I'll shut up. His fight actually feels really cinematic if you don't use his weakness. Please, take my advice, don't use his weakness. It's just you and him fighting. Now, I've played this game about 15 times now, so yeah, he's dead. Oh yeah, Zero's also dead now. I don't understand how there's blood coming from his mouth, though. I don't think he can bleed. This is where he would give you his arm cannon to go defeat Sigma, but if you got the arm part from earlier, he basically just says, "Good luck," and then disintegrates. Alright, bye-bye, Zero. See you next time. Alright, so if you went against my advice and used Vile's weakness, which is Sting Chameleons, you'll probably be out of chameleon juice by the time you reach this vertical shaft. And if you are, this is the most annoying enemy spam shaft out of any shaft I've ever shafted. Luckily, you can just use Chameleon Sting's fully powered weapon to get through. Oh, what's that? You're out of Chameleon for fighting Vile? Well, you can just use the homing torpedo to get rid of them enemies instead. Coming past them, right? Oh, that won't work because you used them on the beginning of the stage. Oh, I guess you just... If you did save your homing torpedoes for now and decide to use them, guess which boss they make you refight? Yes! Did you say Boomer Kuwanger? Because you'd be correct! And dying to Kuwanger means you have to do the damn shaft again! And if you ran out of lives here, tough shit, retry the entire level. This purely isn't fun. Oh yeah, it gets worse. At the end, there's a third boss. The spider. The stupid motherfucker spider. You know that one minigame from Mario 64 DS? It's like that, but it gives you this much time to figure it out. Did you get that? No? Too bad, here he comes at light speed! And in case you thought you could just hug the walls to avoid playing his stupid spider games, he throws arachnids everywhere to try to get you off the walls. Oh yeah, he gets faster in his second phase. This entire level sucks, plain and simple. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it to make it look good, it isn't. I was just going to use the Hadoken to kill him in one shot, but apparently between me getting off and getting back on to record, the Hadoken got lost in some kind of limbo, and I was like, oh, the game didn't save me getting it. So I went back to the stage and tried to do it like 7 times, and it didn't work. So the Hadoken is lost in some kind of limbo to where I have it, but I can't use it. So I had to bear this spider boss without it. Thank God for the health tank so I could just damage boost through it. If you're wondering why we fought Boomerang Beetle back in Stage 1, that's because in classic Mega Man's fashion, we have a boss rush. X tackles it in a very smart way, though. Instead of you having just one Sigma stage, or Wily stage, dedicated to fighting all of them at once, they're spread out between the 3 Sigma stages, and that's really cool. That's pretty much what you should come to expect for all 4 Sigma stages, except for the last one. All of them do conclude with one unique boss, though. Holy shit, it's the face wall, the living face wall. They should put this guy in Smash Brothers. Basically, 3 different eyes that do different things. One will come straight towards you, one will fire balls of energy right towards your location, the third one will just shoot scattershot. And occasionally the walls will close and the nose will bounce around. It's a pretty okay boss, if not monotonous. Stage 3 is more of the same, do some refights, and then one unique boss at the end. This time being an automobile. No, they brought me back to a Toyotathon! It'll crash back and forth the arena trying to hit X, and if he walks on top of the bottom part, it'll crunch. It'll also occasionally go to the right side of the screen to start charging up a big ball of energy. It's honestly a pretty challenging boss that got me biting my nails with that final shotgun I landed here. It's the perfect warm-up to Sigma Stage 4. This one's a long vertical shaft that gives you infinite amounts of bugs you can grind off to either fill up your energy tanks or get more lives. Honestly, thank God. It can be pretty annoying grinding, but could you imagine having to go back to a different stage and grind? Now it's time for the real fight. Against this dog.
Welcome, X. I see you managed to get here by yourself.
very impressive. I could destroy you, but I wouldn't rob my pet of that pleasure. He knows how to deal with betrayers. Should you live, I will be waiting for you. Don't disappoint me, X. X spotted! Pitbull, go!
This fight has 3 grueling phases, each harder than the last, so I hope you brought your health tanks. Hi, hello, this is the part of the script where I stopped writing for about 2 weeks, so excuse me if I missed some details. I am very smart, and I definitely don't procrastinate.
Excellent job, X. I see why Zero counted on you. You're almost as good as a hunter as I was. But the time of your destruction has arrived. You shall regret ever having defeated me.
Can be pretty tricky if you're unprepared for his weird movement patterns. So let me give you the breakdown. Start charging Electro Spark, wall jump spam into the top left, then as soon as Sigma is coming up, before he has a chance to get close enough, fire off your Electro Spark as you're falling. Then he'll start to come down. Wait in this exact position, wait for him to stop moving, hit whatever your shoot button is to start charging, and hopefully you'll also hit him to get some extra damage as well, and repeat. I know that sounds really boring when I put it like that, but it was actually really nerve-wracking if I messed it up and desperately had to struggle to get back into the rhythm. Oh god, you're a wall now! Okay, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, this boss sucks. Like, this boss just fucking sucks. What you're seeing in the background right now is unedited footage of my complete run through this boss, which has been sped up by 300%. And the fact I'm still talking makes it pretty obvious why this sucks, right? This is definitely my least favorite boss in the game, no amount of spiders can top this. The strategy here is pretty much just start charging until you get pink, pray one of these hands goes down to pick you up, stand on the very edge so you won't get shocked by the lightning, and finally, camp. Make sure you shoot the pink shot right as you're at the apex of that spinning hand thing though. By the way, the pink shots do only 1 damage to his 32 HP health bar, so I hope you get lucky. There is a very fine line between challenging and annoying, and this unfortunately just... You know, I was gonna say it falls into the annoying camp, but this just nose dives into it. It jumps a quarter mile that way into the annoying camp. This and Stigma Stage 1 are probably the 2 things I don't like about this game. If it weren't for those 2, this might be peak perfection of game design.
No! It's not possible. I'm a Reploid, I can't be destroyed by you. Why, X? Why have you done this to us? Without the humans, my Reploid brothers could have ushered in a new age.
With that being said, X makes his escape off the falling island. Wait, we were on an island? I mean, that would explain the beginning of Sigma Stage 1. Now we get the shot. X standing on the cliff. This is probably one of the most iconic shots of any game. Him just contemplating if fighting would really do anything, and saying no matter what, he'll keep fighting for a better tomorrow. It really does follow up on that sentient robot thing from earlier. This feels like history has just been made, like your entire adventure has been building up to this, and getting to see the enemy roll call is just so cute. It's like they're crediting the enemies for doing a good job on their performance. I miss when games used to do this, like all the DKC games and other examples I can't think of. After that we get a thank you, and then we get the actual credits, like with the developers. If you're looking for a good way to play this game nowadays, well, you have 3 options. Emulate the Super Nintendo version, play the Legacy Collection version, which is on all modern platforms and contains all of the X games, or play the X Collection on PS2 and GameCube. If you aren't playing any version, I would recommend this one, because they're actually, all of the games aren't just emulated, they're all remastered. If you want the best way to play Mega Man X, go with that. And I'm pretty sure we've talked about everything. That's essentially the entire game in a 60-page script. Hello, this is editing me here. Now realizing I have to edit another few pages, this is already massive script. You see, I kind of forgot there was a remake of Mega Man X on the PSP called Maverick Hunter X. If you're wondering what that video footage from earlier was when I was talking about X's backstory, that's where this is from. Maverick Hunter X is essentially just from the ground up remake of Mega Man X. Adds new cutscenes, voice acting, new graphics, remixed music, etc, etc. Now, from that alone, you could probably call this the better version, just from the surface. It isn't. The problem is, it's on the PSP, which means screen crunch. Like those parts in Spark Mandrill where I couldn't see anything are now worse. Yes, it does have new cutscenes and voice acting, but that voice acting?
You underestimated me. I hate that about you. X, there's nothing you can do. I'll defeat you and Sigma. Then I'll change the world.
Blows. There's a bunch of little issues too I haven't talked about, like X just keeps jittering like the epileptic kid passing by their family that overdoes Christmas every year. Just stick with the PS2 and GameCube version. I have wanted to talk about Megaman X for a long while, and the length of this video can make you definitely tell, right? It holds a very special place in my heart. You see, let me take you back for a sec. In June of 2022, I broke my ankle and pretty much was couch-ridden for like 2 months. And my dad felt bad for me, so he took me to GameStop so I could buy something to pass the time. The game I chose for that was Megaman X Legacy Collection. And then I played Megaman X, and I really enjoyed it once I got the hang of it. And then I played it again, and again. In my 4th playthrough, I realized the pure beauty of this game. Megaman X helped me through a lot, in a time when no one was really there for me, but just like X, I had to keep on fighting. Out of every game in my top 5, this is easily my 2nd favorite. Feels kind of weird to put it after I just gave you that whole sob story, but trust me, my favorite game, my number 1 is a game we'll talk about someday, but not today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I don't really end my videos like this. I usually just like do a funny loud scream and then no, this one I kind of wanted to end differently. Hey, if you noticed I was gone for a little bit, sorry, I was doing your mom. Also, I hope you enjoyed the, I think, better quality of my mic. I got a new one. Apparently asking for subscribers works somehow, so I don't know, do that or something. If I get to 1,000, that means I can actually start making money off this. That means that you guys would get more content, and that would be, for a lack of a better word, cool. Alright, I've kept you long enough, goodbye.
You have won a temporary victory, X. What you destroyed was only my temporary body. My spirit remains intact. In time, I will find bodies strong enough to do my bidding, and I will return. I will see you very soon, X. Very soon.